Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Halloween in July. Hi, Davy.
Hello, Diana.
Yes, so let me say hello to people in the chat. We have hello, Paul. Hello, Alec. And Jaden, Pat, Anthony. And I hope I didn't miss somebody. And shout out to It's Me Alec channel. He's a channel member, and his channel is linked down below in the description box. So thank you for being a channel member. And so Davy's going to be telling us some true scary stories. True stories. It's not just nonfiction. It's not just fiction. I mean, so we're looking forward to that, and we'll be creating art, Halloween art, while we listen to Davy's wonderful, true, scary stories. So you can take it away, Davy.
Yes, yes, I will be creating a drawing, an ink drawing. I've already transferred a sketch onto this piece of card. This sketch is an original design. I had created an artwork some time ago, a couple of years ago, and I decided for tonight I would use this piece of artwork to create the Halloween drawing for tonight. So I've just transferred it for quickness onto a sheet of card. And I'll also be telling a couple of ghost stories. Now, some people may have already heard these ghost stories, but I'm going to repeat them.
Yeah, 9 months ago. We don't remember
time,
that. It
wasn't it?
was 9 months ago.
Yeah, it was a long time. But these are stories that I've been told by real people who are expressing their real experiences, okay? So these are genuine people. I trust them very much. They're very trustworthy people. I know them personally, and they believe what they've seen is real, or what they've experienced is real. So I'll be sharing that with everybody.
Some of them are what you experienced too, aren't they?
Yeah, I have. There's a couple of very strange things that I've experienced.
That's our witch.
Yeah, it made us jump, that. Had my earphones on. That's a good one. That's me. That sounds like me when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
It's that time again. So there we go. And also, if I may, can I say a big hello to everybody who was watching this live stream? Alec, Anthony, Paul, Pat. Hello, Pat. And everybody who is watching who isn't actually typing in the chat.
And Paul says England is known for its haunted stories.
Well, that's absolutely right. We have a lot of haunting tales. There's some the USA has as well. I've recently been watching some very scary ghost stories from the United States involving the Civil War. Ghost stories from the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
And
hi, Greg. Welcome, Greg.
Hello, Greg.
No, Alec, you can't come up right now during the last 15 minutes of the live stream.
So there we go. But yes, Paul is absolutely right. We have a lot of ghost stories in Great Britain. A lot of things have happened historically, and there's a lot of strange events occurred. Also, if you visit Europe, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and what have you. There have been many ghost stories also. So it's all across Europe, to be honest with you. Thousands of ghost stories. So something's going on. People are saying something. People are witnessing something, but what is it? I don't know. What do you think, Diana?
I think they are. I believe like in those, what do you want to call them? Entities from another plane of consciousness, existence that
Yeah.
they exist on another plane of existence or consciousness, and sometimes some people can see them. Some people can see them.
Yes.
Or
That's a
the entities somehow they make themselves seen to the physical eye, but not always.
yeah. They just seem to merge into our reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever they are, and science has not explained them yet. It's something that science has not explained.
Right.
And there's a lot of things science hasn't explained.
Oh, that's true. Right. There's a lot of
This is
things.
one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like science can't explain God.
That's it. There's all of that. There's a lot of things science has yet to explain.
And then a lot of people think, well, if it's not scientific fact, then it's not true. But there's other levels of existence that you can experience, although it's not that you can experience, and it's not even with the physical eye. You can experience it in other ways, and so not just necessarily in the physical.
Yes, that's it. This is how I see it, okay? Everybody is limited to their own existence, their experiences, okay? Everybody has a bubble of experience. So everybody lives in a bubble. Some people live in very small bubbles, and some people live in very large bubbles, which contains all of their experiences. So what happens when they encounter something that is outside of that bubble? So it's outside of their experience, their living experience. That's hard to cope with.
So sometimes then it changes people's I don't know, I can't think of the word.
Opinions, maybe opinions and thoughts.
Yeah, it changes people's opinions and thoughts.
Yeah.
It can change it, and then
when they say something that's outside of that bubble of experience, then they've got to think, well, what was that? Is there something more to this life existence?
Oh, yes, exactly.
This is what I have experienced. It's like with aliens as well. Do you know the alien thing?
Yeah, that, and also it's also the near-death experiences. People are technically dead and scientifically dead, but yet they experience something. They experience something in the near-death experiences.
That is strange. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of supernatural things, events that are very, very strange.
Yeah, that cannot be explained scientifically.
I wonder if Paul. Oh, there's Elf. Hello, Elf.
Hi, Elf.
Nice to see you. I wonder if Elf, Paul, Pat, or Anthony, who's in the chat, has experienced any.
Pat's experienced experienced something with another entity.
No, that is interesting.
She had an entity push her to see a book. She was standing in a library looking at like in between bookshelves, and she asked this question. She asked this certain question about well, I'm not going to say. She asked a certain question, and an entity pushed her to down the aisle until she saw this book which answered her question.
That is strange. Now Pat should really come on board here and tell us that story. Or anybody else's who's got a story, maybe supernatural story.
I do, but I maybe tell it later. It's just a very short, it's a very quick thing.
Right. That would be good. Well, while we're chatting, I'm going to start inking this in. Do you think it's the case that a lot of people like to be scared as well? You know,
do they like to be scared? Yes.
Some people do, I think. They like the mystery. That's what I should say. They like the mystery of things. I think that's why ghost stories and horror movies
are
so popular.
Okay, let me check the chat. Paul says, we can all agree, though, that there is good energy and bad energy, and that's all you need to know.
Exactly, I agree with that. Positiveness.
And then Elf says, it's supernatural. When you go into Michael's craft store and they have Halloween stuff in July.
Supernatural. Yeah. It's supernatural when you go into Michael's craft store and they have Halloween stuff.
He's saying that's what he's saying.
Yeah. It's a special. See, we cannot get enough of Halloween, Elf. It's so popular.
Same for Christmas. They probably in Michael's craft store. They probably start putting out stuff for Christmas in June and July as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they start that in August.
People cannot wait for Christmas and Halloween and Easter.
Easter's not that big of a. Maybe I don't think that's not a huge. I mean.
Yeah, it's not as popular as Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's not as popular as Halloween and Christmas.
I think those two events beat Easter. Plus, Easter is, I don't know what everybody else thinks about Easter, but it always seems to be it's a nice holiday, a nice period.
Isn't it mostly it's a Christian holiday?
It certainly is.
But I think they have some other holidays around that time. Like, no, don't they have a Jewish holiday around near that time?
I think they do. But Easter is has also links with pagan beliefs as well. So I was going to say Easter it has a big religious significance, but out of all of the holidays, all of the events, Easter doesn't seem to be the most interesting.
I know, like what do you do for decorations? I guess you put Easter eggs around, and maybe if they're kids, they can do Easter egg haunts.
Yep.
Like there's no parties. Usually it would be a family thing, just like maybe some family might have family dinners and stuff, but whereas Christmas they celebrate it practically for the whole month with parties and getting ready for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I mean Christmas is a big holiday. It's a big event.
Yeah, and also that's a Christian holiday.
It certainly is. It's a big one. What's your favourite, Diana?
I say I guess maybe Christmas, but not for its religious reasons.
Yeah. Christmas is great. Christmas is great.
Yeah, you enjoy it too.
Especially when you're a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the surprise of like waking up to find like your stocking filled with goodies and presents under the tree.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And then it has connected with it giving, like it's a season of giving,
Yeah.
which is nice.
It's great.
I know Paul's favorite holiday. Paul's favorite holiday is 4th of July.
Oh, 4th of July, yes. That's a good one.
What's everybody name your favorite holiday in the chat? Tell us in the chat what's your favorite holiday. Out of all of them, I mean, out of all the holidays, it could be 4th of July or whatever. Not just, it doesn't have to be just between Christmas and Halloween.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what people choose.
How about you, Dave?
For me? Well, Christmas is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good to see people having a good time and whatever, so it's very joyful. But you know what? Halloween.
You're gonna have to say Halloween.
So good. Halloween is so good.
See, but I don't even the way I celebrate Halloween now is on my live streams. Like
Yes.
I haven't gone to a Halloween party in a long time, and and then the way our house is situated, it's really hard for trick-or-treaters to come to our house because it's not like right on the street, and people, you have to go up the driveway, like halfway up the driveway, and you can't see the front door from the street anyway, and then you have to go halfway up the driveway, and then you have to walk across the whole side yard, and it's like a big deal just to get to the front door.
Oh yeah.
So we don't have trick-or-treaters, so I haven't had trick-or-treaters. I haven't given out.
Oh,
not while I've been living in this house. I haven't.
We haven't either. We've sort of turned our back on that part of Halloween. There's a couple of things there, Diana. One from Pat and one from Paul.
Yes.
Now, Pat said Christ rose from the dead. That's pretty supernatural. That's a pretty supernatural event.
Exactly.
So that's right. Thank you for that, Pat. Which leads us on, which I must mention, to a movie I watched not too long ago. It was about 2 months ago. I discovered this movie, right? It's an old movie, and it's partly to do with that. Well, it's got a lot to do with what Pat has said. The resurrection and whatever, yeah? The crucifixion and the resurrection. It's a movie called Barabbas. Okay? And it's free on YouTube. It's full on YouTube in excellent quality. And I discovered it just by chance. And I couldn't believe how good it was. And it stars Anthony Quinn. I think everybody knows who Anthony Quinn is, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's a few other actors in it, and it's absolutely fantastic. Now, Pat's just triggered this memory from this film, right? Because there's a special scene in the movie, and it's fantastic how they got it, how they filmed the scene, if I may describe it. It's Jesus on the cross, and he's being crucified, right? It's a great scene, but they only had one chance to film it because the director, who was absolutely fantastic, it's a beautiful film, he filmed the scene when there was a total eclipse. Okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of the cast and extras in this scene hadn't actually seen a total eclipse before. So he sets up the camera, all the actors are in the place, the crosses are there, the 3 crosses. Jesus is nailed to the cross, all of the extras are around, and he starts filming. And it's a one-take scene, and it's the total eclipse. And this scene is absolutely fantastic when the total eclipse occurs. So I would highly recommend a watch of that film, Barabbas.
And what's it called?
Barabbas. He's the guy that they let him go, and the punished Jesus. Okay, and it's about Barabbas, the whole film, and about his experience. And Anthony Quinn plays Barabbas, and it is a fantastic film. Even if you just watch the crucifixion scene with the total eclipse, that's amazing. And the other one,
Elf says that was the days of filmmaking. No something.
yes, CGI, no
Real
CG.
actors.
Exactly, Elf. I mean, that was just a one-take shot. I had one chance to take that shot because it was a total eclipse. And it's fantastic. No special effects whatsoever.
So Elf says his birthday's. I didn't know we could count birthdays because birthday would be my favorite holiday.
Oh,
Birthday.
birthdays, yes,
He
of course.
says St. Patrick's Day is his favorite.
Brilliant. St. Patrick. The other thing is, no, I don't know what you think about this, Diana. I'd like you to comment on it because Paul has mentioned Ouija boards.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of Ouija boards? Do you know how to?
Yeah, I think that they could. I used to do Ouija boards when I was like a kid growing up and stuff, and nothing ever really happened. But I've heard people where things do happen, and
Yes.
I think maybe you might have to be careful. Maybe you should be careful or something. I don't know, because you could attract evil entities, maybe.
That's what they say, isn't it? They say it's dangerous and you shouldn't mess on with them.
Yeah, nothing ever. I mean, the thing didn't even move. Like so nothing supernatural happened when I ever did the Ouija board.
Yeah, I think we done it. We done a Ouija board when I was very young, and nothing really happened. But it's from what I've heard, also it doesn't seem a good move to take part in a Ouija board. It's very creepy and spooky, very scary.
Well, have you used it before?
Once, many years ago, and nothing happened. As far as I know, nothing really happened. But it was a creepy experience. I mean, just taking part in it was scary because the whole. I think it was scary because the point of it is that you're trying to communicate with the dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
People have passed on, and you're trying to deliberately communicate with them.
Well, I never thought of it. I did that's true, but I also thought that you could just ask a question, like you ask a question to the Ouija board, and then you don't know who's going to answer you. You can ask a question and then you're waiting to see it answered. You don't know who's answering it.
Yeah, but that's it, isn't it? It's the dead who are answering, I would presume.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's something else, which is even more creepier.
I mean, when I did the Ouija board, I didn't ask specifically for somebody from who I knew from the dead to answer.
Yeah. Yeah, you just put it out, don't you? You put the questions out, yeah?
Right.
That's all very, I found that very, very scary. I don't think I'd ever attempt that now.
Yeah, how many people in the chat ever use Ouija board? Let us know in the chat.
Well, Paul has. Paul certainly used one.
And
Paul said, my ex passed out and my arm went numb, like it was not mine. Had a friend wipe the board clean with a white cloth. Never did the Ouija board again. So that was Paul's comment, yeah?
oh, I see.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah. And his ex passed out.
Yeah, apparently, yes. That's what he said. His ex passed out.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. And he says no trick-or-treaters come to his house either in the hills of Oregon coast.
Yeah. I've seen a few Paul's videos to where he's moved to.
Right, on his back deck, on his deck.
Yeah. And they were very spectacular.
Yeah.
It's an amazing place.
Yes, they have nice temperatures there too. Like it just stays a lot in the 70s or low 80s.
Yes. Oh, that's good. That sounds just right. I wonder if there's a lot.
In the summer, you don't get in the 90s, Paul.
I wonder if there's a lot of critters there. There's got to be some critters.
Oh, critters. Mm-hmm. There's tons of critters where I live.
Really?
Yeah, I live, and we have, it's like we're in the wilderness. We're not in the wilderness. There's houses all near us. Like we live on a street where there's tons of houses, but our house is 180 years old. And so I don't know if that has, and our property just attracts so many critters, like all kinds of insects and bees and wasps and drilling, like the wasps that drill holes.
What?
Those yeah, all these critters. It's like I feel like we live in the wilderness the way it attracts. And we have like a family of deer in our backyard. Like you walk there and there's 5 deer in our backyard. And yeah, and then right behind them is a neighborhood. I mean, we live near a busy street too. I don't even know where these deer live or where they come from.
The visitors. Do you ever suffer from fire ants?
Oh, I've heard. Yeah, well, thank you. That's one thing don't think we've seen here.
Right, I've watched some videos on fire ants, and they're very nasty.
Mm-hmm. So are the wasps.
Yeah, I've seen some of those wasps you've got
and big
in the
giant
United
bumblebees.
States. I mean, what on earth? Those wasps look nasty. The big hornets. We have wasps, hornets, and bees, but they're all very, they're very average. They don't really go around harming people, to be honest with you. people get stung, but they don't go on rampages.
Well, I don't like how those wasps that drill holes. They bother our wood.
That is strange.
The wood framing around our house and around our windows.
Do they eat through the wood?
Yeah, and also
Make holes.
our whole front porch is made of wood.
Do I mean? So that's
yeah, my husband has to take care of them.
That's a nice meal for the wasp.
Oh yeah, right.
Anything wood. What about termites?
Oh no, luckily we don't have them. No.
Yeah, we don't have termites.
No, thank goodness we don't have them.
But they look quite they seem to be quite a pest.
Oh yeah.
You don't want termites.
I understand that's a problem in the southeast where that's not where we live. South of here in the southeast United States, I think they have problems with termites.
Right. So that's where the termites live. So avoid that. Avoid those areas. Strange stuff. What's the most I don't want to be too what's the most dangerous critter you have? Is it the bear?
Bear could be, and that they have a lot of bear in Alaska.
Yes.
But they also have bear, I think, in Maine of the United States. I think they have a lot of bears.
Right. Because they are very dangerous, aren't they? The bears. You don't want a bear chasing after you.
Oh, and Paul says fire ants are usually in the desert.
Ah, right. So basically, fire ants you may get in Dallas, maybe around the Dallas area. I would imagine. California has termites. Lisa, hello, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Lisa says California has termites. They have to tent the whole house.
Ugh.
It's weird.
Elf says they have lots of bears.
Oh yeah.
At Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe.
That's a fantastic place, Lake Tahoe. Elf's posted some great videos. He does a lot of traveling, yeah?
Oh, okay.
In that Lake Tahoe, fantastic. And Pat said, I figured it was my subconscious response. What? Ooh, what's that?
Response. Maybe she's talking about when she did the Ouija board.
Snake. I don't know what that was.
Oh, I don't know. That's a typo.
I wonder if it was. Yes.
Copperhead. You're saying something about a copperhead snake.
Yes. Maybe it was my subconscious responding copperhead snake. The copperhead snake's a very nice snake. It looks great. But I don't know if it's dangerous or not. I'm not too sure. All of Texas, Paul said. So if you live in Texas, you're going to get fire ants.
Oh.
And they're very pesky creatures. There's someone getting out of bed. Elf, is that you? Wow, it's so creepy that. It's very creepy. Do you know when you've got earphones on? Oh, when you've got earphones on, that's very creepy.
You have earphones on?
Oh, I have. I've got my earphones on.
So when will you tell the first spooky story?
I can tell you a spooky story now.
And they're all true, everybody. These are all true. Okay, yeah. Go ahead with your first one.
Well, Now, I was told this off a lady who emptied the vending machines. I think everybody knows about vending machines.
Yeah.
We call them vending machines.
Yeah, we do too.
That's good. So this lady empties the vending machines in the university, Newcastle University. Okay. So one
She's a
morning,
friend of yours. You got this story from a friend?
uh, yes, she's. I would call her a friend. Yeah,
And she told you this one?
she told us this. I tracked her down because I was told that she'd experienced something.
Oh.
Someone told us that this lady had experienced something. Something had happened. So I tracked her down and I said, "What's happened? I've heard that you've experienced something that scared you." And she told us the story. Okay. So this is what she told us. She was in one of the large libraries in the university, 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning, okay? So quite early. And she's emptying the vending machine. Now there's certain parts of the vending machine, maybe some coins, that she's got to wash, okay? That they can get quite dirty coming out of the vending machine. And into the tray where there's usually maybe something's been poured into the tray, maybe. So she takes them into the ladies' bathroom, okay? And this is very early on in the morning, and there's nobody in the building, just her, nobody else.
Uh,
So it's very quiet, yeah, and very peaceful.
and
So
very
she go
scary.
and pretty scary. The library where she's in is called the Robinson Library. Okay. So she goes into the library, she goes into the women's bathroom, and she fills the sink and she starts washing some of the coins.
She's
That
watching
is
what?
some of the coins that are dirty. Yeah. And washing a few of the items from the vending machine. And she's going to wash up before she moves on to the next building.
And is she a
And
cleaning lady?
no, she's not. She's the vending machine
Ah, the vending machine
lady.
lady.
Yes. So she empties the machines. She takes away all of the water, the Coke, Coca-Cola, and whatever, chocolate bars, Snickers,
Yeah.
and she replaces them. And she takes out the money as well. So she's washing these items, and she senses something, and she also sees something.
See, people can sense things. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
You can experience something by sensing it and not
it's
necessarily
strange.
seeing it with your physical eye, but you sense
Yeah,
something.
that's it. Well, she senses something. That's what she said. She sensed something. And she saw something out the corner of her eye. Yeah?
Yeah.
So she moved her head abruptly to the right. And there, standing in the doorway, was a young girl in her late teens, something like 18, 19, maybe 20. So she was a young woman. Yeah?
Yeah.
And she was standing in the doorway, very peaceful looking, with a slight smile on her face. And she jumped out of her skin when she saw this woman, yeah? And when she gave that reaction, the woman vanished in a split second.
It just
She,
vanished before her
she
eyes.
vanished before our eyes. as if it was a photo being shown to you, and then disappears. And she panicked. She ran out the toilet area, the women's bathroom. And she was quite shocked by it from what she had experienced. And that's what she told us. So what did she see? What was it? Was she seeing things? Was it an illusion? Or did she see something? Was it
saw
real?
some entity.
She did. I think she did.
For it
She
to
said,
vanish right before your eyes, that's what it has to be. If it
yes.
vanished right before her eyes.
And she also said, by the way, that when she first saw it, when the young woman, the young girl, when she turned and she saw the woman, and she jumped, she was looking at a real person. Yeah, it looked like a real solid person.
Oh.
So it wasn't transparent or anything like that. It was real.
Oh,
So
that's scary.
what does everybody think of that? And that is the ghost of the Robinson Library.
Oh, and Paul said that the moaning man sounds like him when he got his wisdom tooth removed. He got his wisdom tooth pulled the other day.
Oh no! Oh dear me! Oh, I bet you sounded like that when you got that removed.
Oh, Lisa says that there are lots of bears. Her niece lives in Ashland. I think what's that, maybe North Carolina? I don't know. And she said they had bears often. One morning she woke up and a baby bear was in the back seat of her minivan.
Wow! A baby bear. I think that's the time to remove the bear, isn't it? The baby bear. Because
Elf says he senses Bigfoot in the woods, but he's never seen him. But he senses him, and he's good at playing hide and seek. I mean, probably Bigfoot's good at playing hide and seek.
that is strange. I love these Bigfoot stories. It seems that genuine people. Now I've watched a lot of stuff on Bigfoot, right? And I would like everybody's opinion on this. Because not all witnesses, but there's a bunch of witnesses who seem absolutely truthful and genuine. They're just ordinary people who are perhaps driving their cars along a motorway, and out from the side of the forest darts this humanoid creature. And they've seen it. They've seen this thing. They don't know what it is. And some of these eyewitness accounts are very, very, how can I say, they seem very genuine. So what does everybody think about Bigfoot? Does Bigfoot exist?
Well, they've been talking about Bigfoot for a long time, so I don't know. Like, I don't think it's one. It couldn't just one Bigfoot that's been living hundreds of years or something.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? There's got to be a group of them.
Well,
just doesn't make sense.
Now I'm thinking that might be an entity from another dimension, because I don't think Bigfoot is physical. I think it must be something from another dimension, because otherwise nobody's ever caught it. They just talk about seeing it, but nobody's ever caught it.
Do you think it's one of those? They're called crypto. It's crypto animals, aren't they? Cryptozoology. It's creatures that have been seen
Like the
that
Loch
are,
Ness Monster, right? Like the Loch
yeah,
Ness Monster.
the Loch Ness Monster.
Do you live near there, near Loch?
No, I don't. Well, that's up in Scotland. So I'll
Oh, and
tell
I
you,
thought you lived near the Scotland border.
I do. The border is just up from us. It's not too far away. So it doesn't really take too long to get up there. Because we live in the north of England.
But you don't live near Loch?
No. No lochs near us. But yeah, Loch Ness it's a very deep.
Oh
Loch
yeah, it's
Ness
very
is
deep. Like,
extremely deep.
oh, extremely deep.
Yeah, it's very deep. It's long, narrow, and extremely deep. Anything could be lurking down there. And indeed, scientists a number of years ago discovered new life forms underneath Loch Ness. Shrimps that were unknown to science, things like that.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. So new discoveries being made in Loch Ness.
And Elf says there's been Bigfoot sightings in many different states.
Yeah, that is strange. But the thing is, right, as far as Bigfoot's concerned, America is a very large country. Yeah,
Yeah.
the the North American continent is huge, and there's some like Yellowstone. It's massive. The Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
These areas are huge. There's no way. I mean, something could easily hide in these areas
I
and not
wanted
be
to know,
seen.
Elf, what state do you live in, Elf? And they weren't, and Paul or Lisa were not talking about Ashland, North Carolina. They were talking about Ashland, Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah. That's where she saw they have a lot of bears in Ashland, Oregon.
I
Yeah.
had some.
You asked a
some
question to the chat, right? What do you think Bigfoot is, everybody?
yeah, what is Bigfoot? Does it exist? Is there plenty of room? Is there some good hiding places for Bigfoot? Like large
Like
forests?
I already said, I think it's an entity that exists on another dimension. It makes itself seen because they have supposedly taken pictures of it too.
They have. I think some of the pictures, the famous ones, are very. They're looked upon as basically fake.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah. And they've got some good evidence to suggest that they are fake. Unfortunately, uh, unfortunately, it's very unfortunate, right? Because there seems to be a lot of people that like to fake stuff and fool. Yeah, they find it good fun to fool people.
Oh, to fool people.
Yeah, they do it all the time with everything, and they get a kick out of it. Yeah, they enjoy it. So you've got to try and get around that. You've got to try and, get around the fakers because they're all over the place.
So I guess maybe there's probably never been maybe there's never been a real photo of it.
Maybe not. I don't think there is as yet. The most famous one has really been debunked now. The guy who took it, there was an investigation, I know that, and you can see this on YouTube. And the guy, it's still argued now, right? It's still argued now, some of these photos. So, as far as I can tell, there's good evidence to suggest that some of these photos, the most famous ones, have been faked, unfortunately. But having said that, there's still people who argue against it. And they say, certain people, no, it's not the case. These photos are not fake. So it's up to you what you want to believe. But I'll tell you where I stand on it. Now, I don't know if it's an entity or not, what you've said, Diana.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very interesting thought on the subject. That could be very true. But there seems to be some genuine people that who's witnessed these things. Some of them seem to be extremely genuine, and they don't know what they've seen. They've seen a humanoid creature. Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Pat says she has seen some realistic photos of Bigfoot the other
Yes.
day. The other day, she goes, well, I guess she says, great fakes.
Well, I don't know what photos you've seen, but I can't really explain the photos what I've seen. But there's a lot of photos about, and this is the problem that researchers and stuff, people who are interested in Bigfoot, who are trying to find out the truth, and they're trying to, unfortunately, there are people out there who like to fake things, and it gets in the way of the truth, of finding the truth. And I wish they would just stop faking things.
Uh-huh.
Because when there's too many fakes, when the truth pops up, it's like, oh, here's another fake.
Okay.
So the truth could be hidden amongst a bunch of fakes.
So are you ready to tell your next story?
My next ghost story. Right. Now, my next ghost story was told to me by a friend called Paul Reiling, who is of German heritage. Okay, he's English, but he's got German ancestry, hence his second name, Reiling. Now, he got married, okay, and shortly after he was married, him and his wife, his newly wed wife, went to bed one night. Okay, so they turned the lights off, and they were settling down to sleep, when all of a sudden Paul woke up, and he noticed at the bottom of the bed was a figure of a man standing, looking over the bed, and it moved closer and closer, and he said it actually moved over the bed and was staring at Paul. Okay? Then he let out a scream or a shout because it was so terrifying, and the figure moved back and disappeared. His wife woke up, turned over, and said, "What's going on? What's wrong?" And he explained to his wife that there was a figure at the bottom of the bed. And she said very calmly, "Don't worry about it. Just go back to sleep. That figure will be my father. And he's just checking you out. He's just seeing who you are."
Oh, that's funny.
And then she just turned over, and as if nothing
Well, that's weird
important.
because she had never mentioned that to him then. That was weird. Like, he had never heard that she'd ever been visited by her father.
No, I don't think he had. This was a total shock, surprise. but I think she had seen him before a number of times, yeah. So this wasn't a surprise to her. So there you go. That was a story by one of my friends called Paul, who witnessed that one late night. The father of his wife was just checking him out to see who he was.
Let's see. I'm reading the chat, but nobody said anything new yet.
Right. I'd like the look of it a bit more into this Bigfoot thing, to be honest with you. I wonder if there's anything new on Bigfoot. If there's anything new, as in, info. Yes, Pat said, I saw some realistic photos of Bigfoot the other day. Great fakes. So, are they fake or are they real? That's the thing. Fake or real. And like I said, there's plenty of places in America, the North America, where Bigfoot can live and not be seen. Huge areas. And they are finding animals all the time. In the rainforests and what have you, the Amazon rainforests, there are creatures in there that have been found which were previously unknown to science.
Oh yeah, right. In the rainforest, they have creatures that they still have. There's so many creatures that there's creatures that haven't even been discovered yet.
Yeah. So Bigfoot could be one of these creatures. It could be a creature, or like you said, what if it's an entity that's, did you say, like maybe phasing into our reality?
Yeah.
So that would be strange. That would be hard to find then. If it was that, it would be very difficult to find. But it's very interesting. That was Paul again.
Here's Paul.
His tooth's playing up.
When was the last time that you dressed up for Halloween in a costume, Davy?
I have never dressed up for Halloween in a costume.
Not even when you were a child?
I don't think so. I cannot remember.
So you didn't dress up as a child?
Not really. I wonder if I can't remember. We did go trick or treating quite a bit when I was.
Actually, the last time I dressed up for Halloween, I don't know if it was the last time, but it's the last time I remember, and it was a long time ago, and I won first place for my costume.
Wow.
But it wasn't my creation. I borrowed a clown costume from a friend, and it was a complete clown costume with a rainbow afro wig, a red nose. I painted my face. It was a clown, big clown shoes.
That's great.
Yeah, and I won first place.
That's fantastic.
I think that's the last time I might have dressed up.
I don't think I've ever dressed up.
Except for in school when I was teaching, and sometimes I would just wear a witch's hat. I wouldn't really dress up all the way. I just wear like some kind of like witch's hat or something. Oh yeah, then I did create my own butterfly costume for when I was a teacher, so that I could wear it. So I could wear it at school. So yeah, I created my own butterfly costume.
That sounds good. Did you have the wings and stuff? The
Yeah,
butterfly wings?
the wings were made out of flexible cardboard that I
Wow,
painted.
that sounds great.
Yeah. How about
I
everybody
like,
in the chat? What's one of some of your best costumes or memorable costumes
yeah.
that you've worn?
Hey, I tell you what, a Bigfoot costume would be good. A Bigfoot costume. If I was to dress
What
up,
would
it
a
would be.
Bigfoot costume look like? Like
Oh, I
somehow
know.
I think you could confuse it with a werewolf. Somehow I keep
Oh,
thinking of
yes.
Bigfoot looking something similar to a werewolf.
Yeah, couldn't it? Or Chewbacca
Yeah.
From Star Wars. But that's what I would dress up as, Bigfoot. Something like that.
You would.
Maybe. It would be very hot.
Well, Halloween's the end of October, so it can get cold at
Oh,
night.
yes, it is. Yes, you're right. So it might be to your advantage to dress up as Bigfoot.
How was your summers there where you live? Do you ever, I mean, oh yeah, that's right. You're not Fahrenheit. Does it ever get hot?
Well, we've had some. Well, we're in summer now. Okay, so this is summertime. So we still get a lot of rain.
Oh, you get
Okay,
a lot of
well,
rain?
now and again we'll get patches of rainfall. So, and in between the rainfall, we'll get some nice weather. But our temperatures, if it gets to 25, 30, then it's really record breaking temperatures. So 30 degrees is considered extremely high
Yeah.
for us. So everybody makes a big fuss when the temperature gets to 30 degrees.
I wonder if
And
that's similar to 100 here. I don't know. I don't know the conversion from Fahrenheit to Celsius, but
I'm not too sure neither.
we've had a few heat waves where it gets to where the temperature, and then they have the thing called the real field temperature because the humidity makes the heat feel hotter. So
Right.
you have the
Yes.
heat, but then we have a lot of humidity here, and so then they'll tell you the real field. So like 2 or 3 times this summer, the temperature was 100 and the real field temperature was 105.
Right. I'm going to look at the conversion table.
And then we were walking on blacktop outside of the restaurant, from our car to the restaurant. The blacktop made it feel like 120 degrees.
Oh, God. Right, temperature conversion. Let's have a look.
Here's Pat. Pat says, I made a furry cat costume for my daughter. It was really hot on Halloween, so I didn't make her wear it for long.
Wow, a furry cat. Furry cat costume. Now that sounds good. Yes, that would have been very hot. The cat costume. Right, I'm looking at this. How to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. How to convert chart. I've got a chart here. So apparently 10 degrees centigrade is 50 Fahrenheit. 13 centigrade, which is my favorite temperature, is 55 Fahrenheit.
That's your favorite? That's kind of cool. You like it on the cool side?
I love that. 13 degrees is just perfect.
I like it a little warmer than that.
A little warmer than that?
Yeah, 55 is kind of cold.
Right, let's have a look.
I like it warmer.
Oops. So, right then.
Yeah, I
So
would say
here it is.
55 is cool. I wouldn't call it. It's not cold, but it's cool. Cool is not bad. I don't mind cool, but
Right.
my favorite temperatures are in the 70s.
In the 70s. So we're
Yeah.
talking about 22 degrees centigrade.
Oh. Hmm.
So 71 degrees Fahrenheit is 22 centigrade. So that's considered quite hot over here in the
That's
north.
considered hot.
Yes, in the north of England, it's considered this is a good summer. We're jumping up and down and shouting.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
if it's
So you
22
never get
degrees.
100 degrees.
Well, let's have a look at 100. Right, I've got 100 degrees. Oh, by God, no. I,
We've
that's
had
it.
100 degrees several times this summer.
You're joking. What?
It's so hot. Yeah.
That's 38 degrees centigrade. That would fry us. We wouldn't survive.
It's very, I know, it's horrible.
We'd be like fried toast. There's no way I've experienced that. I have experienced the highest temperature was about 33 degrees centigrade.
What?
That was 91 Fahrenheit.
Oh. Hmm.
That's the very highest, and I'm telling you, not a lot of people liked it. It
Yeah.
was too hot. Everybody who I knew, then that was 31 degrees. No, sorry, 33 degrees. I have never experienced 38 degrees, which is 100 Fahrenheit. Has it getting any hotter in the United States?
Well,
Any
it
hotter?
depends where in the United States. Where in the United States, the temperature's different all over the. So
Nevada.
where I am, we've had several heat waves where it's in the 90s, and
Oof.
it several times this summer it's reached 100 several times.
Oh, good.
With the real
Right.
field temperature being 105.
Right. Well, that's really hot. 105 degrees is like 40 centigrade.
And then in Nevada, where he lives Elf lives in there's a lot of desert in Nevada, and he said
Right?
we've had 15 days of over 100 degrees in July.
Dear me, Elf, how are you still surviving? Everybody must have fantastic tans, sun tans.
No, because it's hard to be outside in that kind of weather.
All right.
Who wants to sit outside in that kind of weather? You just want to go. You just want to be in air conditioning.
All right, I see what you mean. Yes, that does make sense. But that is unbelievable. We do not get 40 degrees ever. That's just not going to happen up here in the north of England. That's crazy temperature to us. Does it go any higher? What's the highest recorded? Do you know? Does anybody know what the?
Oh yeah, like in the western United States where there's desert. In the desert, they could get 120 degrees.
What? In the desert?
Yes.
Is this in Nevada? Is this Dallas? Because that's insane. That's 50 degrees centigrade.
In Las Vegas, which Las Vegas is in Nevada, it's 115 degrees every day.
What? You're
Because
talking
that's
about
the
45
desert. It's
degrees?
desert. That's why. Because it's the desert.
Yes, that's like 45 degrees. So therefore, once it gets to 100 degrees,
Death Valley, 130 degrees. Oh my goodness,
oh God, that's bad.
that's like I think
Death Valley,
Death Valley. I've been to Death Valley, but it was not during the summer.
was it not? So what was it like when you went? What was the?
Oh yeah, it was like we were there in April, so the
All right,
temperatures were not. It was not hot. It was not. I
that's
don't
about
remember it being hot. It was just like maybe like in the 70s, which to me that's not hot. That's warm.
all right. Well, we get a little bit of wind in April, like March and April. We
Oh
get a
yeah,
little bit of
March.
wind.
We get March winds.
Yes. So, I mean, that's really bad, that the temperatures are terrible. Death Valley. No wonder it's called Death Valley.
Yeah, no wonder.
That is crazy. Well, Elf said Death Valley, 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's like 55 degrees centigrade. So that would kill you. That would, if you're out in that temperature for too long, you're gone. Now, what does Lisa say?
She said she went as Charlie Chaplin in high school for Halloween. She said
Yeah.
nobody knew who she was or that she was even a girl, and she got her picture in the yearbook as Charlie. She says I didn't speak all day, so no one knew it was a girl.
Oh no. So you fooled everybody. That's a good one, Lisa. Paul said, love Oregon.
Oh, and then Elf said that there has been a death there this summer in Death Valley.
Oh
You're going to
God.
believe it, with that 130 degrees.
Yeah, definitely. That's not a surprise. Ooh, dear me. I had some American United States cookies today. Now I don't know where they're from. It was either Oregon or Ohio.
And then Pat Lamb's daughter was in Arizona and was complaining about the chill because it went from 120 degrees to 92 degrees.
Whoa,
And she's calling that a chill.
a chill. Dear me.
But her daughter doesn't live there, so I don't know what she's talking about. Her daughter lives in Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland.
So she was just visiting Arizona.
That's a nice place, Switzerland. I wonder if Pat's been to Switzerland.
I have. I've been there.
What's it like? What did you think?
I've been to Geneva. So, I don't know. I wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't. It didn't really stick out to me as anything. I mean, I really liked France and Italy the best.
I've been to Italy. That was a lovely place.
Yeah.
The people are so nice in Italy.
Yeah, I know they are. I lived in Rome for 6 weeks.
Whoa, wow. I bet
Yeah,
that was a
was
good
fun.
experience.
Yeah.
Now, that's one hell of a historical country.
Yeah, I like all the ruins. Like you turn the corner, like it's all modern architecture, and then you turn the corner, and there's all these ruins in a park. And I'm like, the modern architecture contrasted with the ruins, I think is really interesting.
That's awesome. The Colosseum and what have you.
Yeah, there's so many cats at the Coliseum. All these wild cats.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, tons of cats.
dear me. And to think that Italy invaded Britain, Great Britain, the UK.
Oh.
Italy invaded us in 43 AD, so 2,000 years ago. Yeah, the Romans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The ancient Romans. So Italy invaded Great Britain, the UK. I wonder if anybody's been to my part of the country and visited the Great Roman Wall, Hadrian's Wall. Has anybody visited Hadrian's Wall?
What is it called?
Hadrian's Wall.
Where is that?
That's where I live.
Oh.
In the northeast of England, it's one of the most important ancient Roman sites in the world. It literally, it's a wall that stretches and separates Scotland from England. The Romans built a giant wall which stopped anybody from basically walking into England. That was the Roman
So is it similar
occupation.
like the Great Wall of China?
It's like that, yes, but not as spectacular. I think the Great Wall of China is more spectacular.
Yeah.
The Roman legions built Hadrian's Wall. There's a nice ghost story. It's a famous ghost story from the city of York, which is in England, yeah, which is a northern city. It used to be the capital of England at one time, but the Romans settled it. They created it. York. Yeah? And the Vikings called it Jorvik. And there's a great ghost story. And I might tell that next time.
Next time?
About the ghosts of the Roman soldiers. Unless you want to tell us it right, unless you want me to tell you it right now. If we have time.
Is it a story your friend told you?
No, this is a famous story from York. There's a town called York. I think it's a town or a city. I can't remember if it's a city yet. But it's a place called York. It's a fantastic place to visit. And it's got a lot of history. And the Romans settled it, yeah. They're responsible for creating York, as far as I know. And there's a very famous ghost story from York. But there's a lot of ghost stories in York. And it concerns, do you know what a plumber is?
What?
A plumber.
How do you spell that?
Plumber, a plumber.
No.
Do you know, I don't know what you call these guys, but they're workmen who fix pipes.
Yeah, plumber, but with an ER at the end. Plumber.
Yes,
Plumber. Yeah, the people that fix pipes, right?
Right, is that okay? So you know what a plumber is?
Yeah, we call it a plumber. We call it plumber, yes.
A plumber. So what happened was, this is many years ago, in the 1970s, I think, there was an apprentice, a young apprentice plumber, and he and his senior plumber were working in a basement in one of the buildings in York Town. So this is a historical building. So they're working on some of the plumbing, on the piping, when the senior plumber said to the young guy, "Stay here, and I've got to go and get some equipment, and I won't be too long, okay?" So the young apprentice plumber said, "Yes, sure, I'll just stay here, I'll wait for you." So the senior plumber goes away, leaving the young plumber apprentice in the basement of the building, all by himself, all alone. So time was ticking past, a few minutes, and the young guy heard a noise coming from behind the wall. And it was the noise it was very faint. It was music. And he thought, "Oh, that's strange. There must be some music being played next door, in the building next door,
Yeah.
behind the wall." But the music's getting louder it gets louder and louder and louder. And it gets quite loud. Then, in total surprise, he notices a figure walks through the wall, and he's blown a trumpet-like object. It's actually called, the trumpet that he described is actually called, I think it's called a cornican, and the ancient Romans used them. Yeah. So this guy, he said, was dressed in ancient armor, and he was blowing this trumpet. And behind him, some other figures walked out of the wall. Roman soldiers. And there was more, and it kept going and going and going. And they were walking, and he was absolutely scared stiff. He had his back against, against the wall, watching this vision. And he said he froze, he couldn't move. And these Roman soldiers marched out of the wall into the other wall and disappeared. There was even a guy on a horse. Yeah. He described them as being very dirty looking, with beards and wearing Roman armor. But they were quite worn and they looked very tired. But he noticed something strange, right? When they were walking, the floor, their knees, you could only see from like from their heads down to their knees. So the bottom part of their legs were missing. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it turns out that below the floor was a Roman road. So the part of their legs that were missing, that he couldn't see because of the floor, their legs were actually touching the old Roman road. That's why he couldn't see their legs. So he saw them from the knees up. Yeah? The knees up. And this was a report that was made many years ago in the town or city of York.
So it's an official ghost story that everybody knows this story?
Yeah, it's an official ghost story that is very famous, especially when it was first reported. When it was first reported, it was very famous, and it's it's one of my favourite ghost stories. Of the young plumber's apprentice, who saw this vision. So I don't know what you think of that.
Thank you for telling that one.
That's a strange one, that one.
Yeah, whole bunch of ghosts at one time.
Yes, marching across an actual. They didn't even know there was a Roman road underneath the floor. It wasn't until it was dug up later on, sometime later, when they found there was actually a Roman road underneath there. That's why you couldn't see their legs.
Oh.
So that's a strange one.
Yeah. So I think this comes to the end of our live stream.
I think so.
Thank you, everybody that joined us today. And thank you, Davy, for joining us.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Diana, doing this live stream with you. I've done a little bit of the drone. I didn't complete it, but I've done a little bit of the witchy. There we go. I will finish this off at some point.
Okay. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time. With Davy and I do live stream the last Thursday of every month.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Elf, Paul, Pat, Lisa, and everybody who's watching.
Yes. Goodbye. Thank you, everybody. Okay. See you later, and have a nice rest of your day.
Good night, everybody. Don't get too scared tonight when you go to sleep. Ooh. And I hope your tooth gets better, Paul.